like Instagram marketing, film writing, and creative writing from Rustin Bond. So let's start with your interview questions, ma'am.
Yes, please.
So your first question is, how did you started writing?
I started writing when I was 13 years old at school. I'm just an accidental writer. So, I still remember it was an inter-school writing competition, and my Hindi teacher put my name in the list without my own notice. And it was a huge
Okay.
challenge because I was representing the school. So it was like many schools in Hyderabad which were participating. So my first article was in Hindi on unemployment, berozgari. And I should
Okay.
say it's just like I just became an accidental writer. So I'm writing from 1996 till today. So I complete 26 years as a writer. So
That's
completely by
amazing.
accident. Yeah.
So, like, you're very grateful for that opportunity, which gave you a chance to explore yourself in writing field.
Yes, exactly. Because I always say that I'm grateful to my Hindi teacher at school because it is her confidence and push, which has actually got me to this position today. Otherwise, I would have not, even explored that I knew writing was waiting for me. So I'm really thankful to my school teachers. Yeah.
That's good. So, can you tell something about your upcoming projects? Like, are there any upcoming projects?
Can you please repeat your question?
Like, what are your upcoming projects? Any
Yeah,
project you are
I'm
working?
like with my magazine, I have a couple of interesting projects which I would, prefer to keep it as a surprise for the moment. So, as
Okay.
in my personal writing, I'm actually writing my next book, which I hope to, get it before the winter comes. So, I'm actually working on my next book and some couple of surprises for all the writers at my magazine. So,
Yeah,
I am having a pretty writing schedule. Yes.
that's good. All the best for your upcoming books and
Thank
all.
you so much, Kritika. Thank you.
So, like, who is your inspiration?
Oh, I have inspiration, so many to name. Actually, it's like genre wise. When it comes to poetry, I like the most Urdu and the Persian poets because I grew up listening to a lot of Urdu poetry. So I like Mirza Ghalib when it comes to poetry, when it comes to portraying tragedy on paper. He
Yeah.
is one of my he's an amazing poet and my inspiration. Then I have Gulzar Saab, then I have Saadat Hassan Manto, Amrita Preetham. So I'm mostly into these kind of people who actually experimented with their own boldness and the pre-independence era. Yeah, and when it comes to English, I like Ruskin Bond a lot. So a lot of inspirations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like we can see in your birth. Okay, that's good. And any message you have for upcoming or budding authors and writers?
Yes, I do have, and
So many.
yeah, I do have. I would just tell them to start reading a lot. Let it be newspaper,
Yeah,
advertisements, anything. Start reading because until unless you don't read well, you can't write well. So please read. Reading is the foundation which will make you tomorrow a good reader. So I just want to keep it very simple.
okay.
Yeah.
So we are done with your questions. It was really nice talking to you.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, Kritika and Digital Golgappa and Cherry
Thank,
Book Awards. Thank you so much.
thank you, ma'am,
Yeah.
for joining. Okay, so next we have. Okay, so do we have N Keerthana Rao here?
Yeah, hi. Hi, Krishika.
Hi, Keerthana. How are you?
I'm doing good. What about you?
I'm all well. So, A.N. Keerthana Rao is an aspiring CA and a magnificent writer. So, are you ready for the interview?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So, tell us something about your anthologies.
To be frank, it started like 2 years back when we all were in lockdown. So
Okay.
that kind of gave us a lot of free time because we were saving traveling time and all of it. So that time people started anthologies. I feel like that's when I came across the word anthology and I googled what it is. And I felt for amateur writers out there like me who needs like if you have to move forward in your journey, you'll need some encouragement and motivation, and most importantly someone who reads it and acknowledges it. So I felt anthologies are a medium for that. So then it started with 1, 2, and then it went on. I think I have like 10 plus anthologies till now.
That's great. So, you are currently doing any anthologies?
Oh no, currently I am working on my own book. So yeah.
Okay, you're a syllabus. Okay, so next we have like what inspires you to write?
There's no specific thing that takes me back to what inspired me to write. I'll just say that writing was like an outlet for whatever I felt. So when you feel a lot of things and when there are many emotions suppressed in your mind, you need some medium where you're not always you can talk to people. So you need some medium where you can put it out, and if it's beautiful parallelly, then that becomes like an icing on the cake. So poetry was, I didn't know it is a talent. I just knew that it was helping me a lot. So eventually, when people started to appreciate it, I started enjoying it.
Okay, that's it. And from how many like when did you realize that you can be a writer?
Oh no, I never realized it until I think again lockdown 2020. I
Okay.
started I wrote for a while when I was around the age of 13, but then like left it in between because of school and all that. So again, like 2 years back when I started to write, I felt that it is something that I have to continue doing because it gave me a shelter for peace in my mind.
Okay. So where do you see yourself in next 5 years?
You mean in the
Like
literature field or?
yeah, like all over literature field and aspiring CA too. Like,
Oh, well, CA is tough, so I'll keep that and writing separate. I've never tried to mix both of them. When it
okay.
comes to literature, that's what I'm working on my book. So as later I'll be an official author. Till now I've just been co-author. So once that is done, I would like to inspire more people through writing because I feel pen is the most powerful weapon where you can spread your thoughts. So yeah, next year I want to grow more and more as a writer, and I've not thought of it much because some things are good when they come as surprises. So yeah.
Yeah. That's good. It was really nice talking to you. Thank you for joining with us.
Thank you so much for the.
Yeah, thank you. So next we have Vivek Sehgal. Are you there? Is a trilingual Indian writer from Yamunanagar. He loves to draw and he is an avid reader, also currently pursuing CA. So let's start with your interview questions.
Okay.
Uh, tell us something about your writing journey, like till now.
My writing journey began when I was in class 10th. Actually,
Okay.
the poem Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner by S.T. College, it
Yeah.
inspired me a lot to write more. And I experimented with it. But at that time, many students in my classroom used to write and poems and all, and they used to post it on social media. I didn't want to be
Okay.
in that common herd. I really wanted to test that whether I am a good writer or I'm just passion or it's just my hobby or something. So I ended up on being social media sites like Story Million. places where I can take part in contests. And when I won in those contests and I got good ranks in stories, at that time I knew that yes, I it was not just a hobby and I could actually pursue it.
Okay, that's great. So, can you tell something about your favorite books? Like, do you have any favorite books?
I love reading Hindi books. Chandrakanta series has been my most favorite by far.
Okay, so, like, what inspires you to write from like
Uh,
such a long?
I am of that generation when we were young. We used to have a lot of horror serials when we were growing up, Ahat and all. So I always loved horror. And when I look at society at this point of time, I think masking negativity for this sense of fake positivity is not right. We should show
Okay,
what actually is happening. So that is why my writing ends up being very tragic or sometimes dramatic. So that is the urge to write, so that I can highlight what actually is happening and not just mask it. Because at this time, everyone is into that positivity thing that everything is good,
yeah.
everything is good. I believe we should focus on positivity, but also we should highlight what actually is happening at the ground level. That is why that motivates me to write.
Okay, that's great. So, like, what? How do you maintain a balance between studies and writing? Like,
I'm a staunch proponent of focusing on one thing. So until last month, I was actually free. So I had done a lot of reading and writing. And right now, I'm
okay,
taking a break from it for the 3 years so that I can focus on my CA. But when
okay,
I was in class 12th during the pandemic, I had a lot of time. So I used to prioritize what is more important at the moment. It should be done before than what you're following side by side. So that is how I maintain that.
okay. That's great. Like, it was lovely talking to you, and
Thank you so much.
I
Same
hope
here.
you enjoyed the interview. Thank you for
Yes, yes.
joining.
Thank you for being such a great host.
Thank you. Okay. So next we have Parag Ray. Are you there?
Yes, I'm
Hello. How are you?
here. Hi. Hi, Krishika. How are you?
Hello. I'm fine. So, Parag Ray is a business development executive and a pre-sales consultant. He is a public speaker and MBA in finance and marketing. So, let's start with your interview.
Sure.
And can you tell us something about your book, the career creator?
Yeah. So the my book, first book, I would say, The Career Creator, is about career mentorship. It's not only for the students in the school, but also the professionals who are in their mid-level careers, and of
Okay.
course the professionals who are in their 60s and going to take an retirement. So it's the all age group people, I would say, and it's mota moti, it's kind of a career mentorship book which will guide you how to find your mentor, how to plan your future career, how to handle the stress, how to handle the conflicts and constraints in your career path.
Okay. That's great. So, when did you publish that book?
Well, I published a book just before 1 year. It's May 2020, sorry,
Okay.
2021. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Like, what gave you a thought to write that book actually?
Okay, that's a common question that I used to get. So,
Okay.
being I'm a kind of a public speaker, and not only I speak in particular forum, but also I visit to various organizations, educational institutions, and companies as well. So when I visit, I make sure that I will interact with the people. So when I interacted with the students, professionals, the mid-level managers, they have all the common problem that I identified, and this kind of interaction and identification happens over the years. I would say it's around 5 to 6 years when I got to know. So I thought, without mentoring and suggesting in person, if I'll write such books, which with all my experience and input, so this will definitely reach to a big number of people, so they will get all profit out of it. So that inspires me a lot, and it's all about my experience and what I see in the problems that currently people are having.
That's great. So, like, I want to ask you that who is your inspiration for everything you are doing right now, writing and publishing a book?
Okay, my inspiration from my childhood, I have seen my father because he's my mom as well, but lesser than my father because my father loves to read and write as well. So they are my first inspiration, and of course, I got the habit into writing a couple of years back only. So during that journey, when I was used to read a lot, so I feel quite a few people in the authors arena that inspire me a lot, like Sudhamurti. The one thing I like about her is the simplicity of language that she used. So yeah, there are a couple of authors and my parents, so they inspire me a lot in this journey.
Yeah. So, like, it was nice talking to you. So thank you for joining for the interview.
Thanks
I
for
hope
being a
you.
lovely host. Thank you for having me here, Digital Golgappa and Cherry Book Covers. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, so Humera Khatoon, are you here?
Yeah, hello, Krishika.
Hello, how are you?
I'm pretty fine. How are you?
I'm good. So, Humera Khatoon, she has achieved 40 plus certificates and she has done anthologies too. Plus, she has won India Diva Award Season 4. So, we are glad to have you here. So, can we start with the interview?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So, have you published any solo book till now?
No, I'm working on my solo book, and it's like a collection of articles. I like to write the articles of non-fiction, so it's a collection. So I'm working on this, and I hope it will publish soon. So
That's great. Best of luck for your book.
thank you so
And
much.
so your next question is, what are your upcoming projects like besides the book? Anything else you're working on?
I'm a student and I'm pursuing my master's in psychology. So I have a very
Okay.
little time for writing. So I just, in my leisure time, I used to write non-fiction articles, related to day life. And now I'm also working in my articles, writing. So in my free time, I like to read newspapers, and I got lots of ideas. So in the weekends, I would like to write all the ideas, and after that, after completing all
Book of yours, like any favorite book you have?
favorite books,
Yeah,
um,
novels
you
and
know,
anything.
I read novels. I hardly read novels because my interest in mostly in non-fictions. So I just read. I think my last novel I have read about Harry Potter's. I have read all the parts. So I just love it, and I have watched all the movies. So I have completed all the 7 parts books.
That's great.
So I just
Okay, that's great. So we are done with our interview questions. That was lovely talking to you.
thank you so
Thank,
much, Krishika. Thank you.
thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so next we have Sonia Narula. Are you there, ma'am?
Hello, I'm audible.
Yeah, ma'am, you're audible.
My
Yeah, okay, so hello, ma'am, how are you?
I'm fine. Actually, my video is not on.
No, ma'am, it's actually showing black screen.
Just hold. Just give me a moment.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, hello, ma'am, how are
Yeah, am I
you?
audible?
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
audible.
good. Yeah, how are you, Krishika? I'm fine.
I'm fine, ma'am. Soumya Barli is a former software engineer and a published author of four children books. So that's amazing. Let's start with your interview questions. How was your writing journey so far, like till now? How was it?
Yeah, it's quite good. And prior to answering your question, just I would like to say that Cherry Book Awards is the most featured book award, and I would like to, I'm very much delighted to join in this event, and they're doing a very great job. Like they're recognizing the talented people, and they're awarding them. And again, like, because the talented people who they need to be, they deserve it, because best results does not come in overnight. It
Yeah,
takes over time, so it happens over time, so it's a very great job. And then, coming to your question, I can say that, I'm actually an educator. I have completed my BTech and MBA, and then later I discovered liking for the creative writing, and it's a passion for me too. So I coupled it with the art, and then I have illustrated and written children's book, Astro Poems. As I believe that I have a wide knowledge to explore in space sciences, and so I have chosen a genre of space science. And then it's a fiction only, that I have compiled into the poems of different poems, like acrostic poem and count poem, and two or three as a free verse poem under the same plot. So that is what my book, Astro Poems, Twilight Adventures of Nick, a Space Boy. It's been even featured by NEATEX on their bookshelf. So, and then Magic Poems was also another poems book I have authored. So, and next is related to those are that is what. So, that itself I have. I mean, like, I've illustrated on my own. I illustrated and then even written.
that's great. Can you tell us something about your upcoming projects or books which are going to come?
As of now, I'm juggling between my taking care of my child and then household work. So most probably it may be short stories again related to the kids of multi-genre.
Okay, that's great. Like you have written so many poems and short stories for kids. What motivates you to write like these books and children books? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what actually. I think that our a quality, like a child will have to be always curious, and to be always work something for tirelessly, fight and work something for tirelessly. So these are the two qualities I have, and it's a passion for me to write. So
Ma'am, you're not audible actually.
hello.
Yeah, yeah, you're audible
Yeah.
now. So, your last question is, any advice for young authors or budding poets you have?
um, I would say that um, a writer is always a reader first. So
Okay.
read a lot. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, am I
So,
audible? Yeah, a writer is always a reader first. So first you need to read a lot. Try to analyze the wow and frown factors which are involved in the book which you have read. And of course, poetry is it is an expression which comes out of uh, which comes out of their own. Everyone has their own style of expressing it. Few appear to be therapeutic, and
Yeah.
few of them really goes good.
Okay, so
So yeah, it should be
that I guess there was a network issue from your side, huh?
hello.
Yeah. It was great speaking to you, and thank you for joining the interview. I really you all loved hearing you.
Yeah, thank you.
I hope you liked the interview.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Dr. Sonia Narula, are you able to join now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
I'm audible?
Yeah,
Yes.
ma'am, you're audible. Hello, ma'am. How are you?
Fine. How are you, ma'am?
I'm fine. Sonia Narula is teaching since 2004 and has published 11 textbooks on banking and corporate law and other subjects for BCom. Yeah. Let's start with our interview questions. Who is your inspiration?
My father is my inspiration.
Okay.
అక్కడ
So
balcony.
when did you decided that you want to go for teaching, like
Actually,
profession?
when I'm doing my post graduation, after that I
Okay.
decided to do the PhD. I did my PhD from Jamia Millia Islamia, a central university in Delhi, and after
Okay.
that I go for the path of teaching.
Okay. So you love teaching from like
From my graduation, from my post graduation. After post graduation, I started my teaching.
okay. That's great. So do you have any favorite book?
Yes, uh, in law, I have Andy Kapoor. Andy Kapoor is the best writer.
Okay.
He had written the book in a very good manner.
Okay. So what gave you a thought of publishing textbooks for all the BCom and corporate law and
Actually, I am teaching since 2004, and I have 17 years of experience. And in by that experience, I am able to know that the students have some problems while they are studying. Like they are not able to get how many types of how many sections are there, how many laws are there, case laws are there. So they needed the question papers also, last year question papers also. So I wanted to make a book which can be helpful for them in the form of a notes. My book, there are diagrams also, and in my book, the book of corporate law, book of mercantile law, book of Nigamit Adhiniyam, and the other book is banking law. I had described each and every point one to one with the explanation, with case laws, with sections, with presentations, appendix, helpful for them, case law details,
that's
as well
great.
as naming namings.
Okay, that's amazing. Can you tell us something about your teaching journey so far, like how much you enjoyed it and all the backlogs and everything?
While teaching with the student, I always enjoy. Uh, I do the teaching in an interactive manner. While teaching in a class, I taught the students not only to learn the part which is relevant for their study mat. They also enjoy the law by the live examples, by the case laws. They are on their fingers able to understand the case laws, the tips. I have given them the tips to understand the sections and cite them in the class.
That's great. We are done with your interview questions, and it was very nice talking with you. I hope you enjoyed the interview.
Yes,
Madeline.
I have message. Uh, I have message for all the newcomers out there is to believe in yourself, as it is that unshakable faith can move mountain. So I believe it has all been the result of my determination and my focus, and my future planning is that I will write some more books and research papers.
Thank
I
you. That
from the
was
bottom of for the core of my heart, I thanks to the God who blessed me with the talent to write the books, and of course my co-author, my family members, and the digital Golgappa and the Cherry Book of Award.
Thank you so much, man. That was a lovely message for everyone out there, and I personally, and I know that everyone enjoyed talking, like